Check 1, 2. I wonder if it's like completely. Crap. Hello. Hello everyone, good morning. This is completely opposite from yesterday. Yesterday it was 11 when I did it last night. The study went into the morning, the wee morning hours. This is the last day of anatomy. For those following along with me in this book, we're going to start. It's not the last day of anatomy. What I mean to say is that it's the last day that we're going to be actually focused on anatomy nonstop. We're going to start mixing it up now, with for me a heavy focus on composition. I think we're going to include some kind of compositional practice every day, along with a still life or something along those lines. So good morning and welcome. Good news to everyone. I'm going to probably be doing this at this time every morning, so 9 o'clock to be exact. It's a little before 9 o'clock. It's like 8:40, but 9 o'clock is going to be my time to shoot for the daily study group. And if I don't get online at 9 o'clock, it means that I'll be getting online later. But I'm going to go for 9 o'clock every morning. And if, like I said again, if I don't make 9 o'clock for whatever reason, we'll just do it later that day. But I'll try and give everyone a warning ahead of time. So I'll post this up in the forum, but I feel like this is a doable time. It allows me time to get up and get awake and get online. So starting Monday, 9 o'clock, daily study group every day at 9. My name is Miguel Coronado. I'm an illustrator living in Austin, Texas. You can find my work online at www.mciii.net. My username is Mike086 on the Crimson Daggers forum and on the Instagram, conceptart.org, facebook.com/IIIMCIII. Thank you for joining me. We're going to get started. This section is very much like the hand section in the book, and if you followed along with me yesterday, you'll understand that the hand section was completely different from the rest of the sections in regards to no muscle work. We're not going to really draw any muscles. We're not going to really draw any tendons and underlying structure. We're going to focus on basic shapes and construction. This section is pretty short. We'll be able to get through this. We should be able to get through it pretty fast. I'll kind of divulge any information I know about drawing heads already. But we'll go ahead and read in. It says, at the beginning, nothing that you learn in here is going to help any more than just drawing people. So, what he's trying to emphasize, I'm not going to read the whole thing, but what he's trying to emphasize is that no matter what you're going to practice or learn in this book or any other book, that the most important part in regards to drawing a human head is to just get someone to sit down for you, or find someone and just draw them, draw their face, draw their head, or paint them, whatever you're going to call it. Anyway. Okay. If anyone has any questions, ask me in the chat. I can't see the chat right now, but I'll check it. But 9 a.m. Central Standard Time. 9 a.m. a.m. CST, Central Standard Time. That's going to be the time I'm going to be online. Okay, I'm going to go do this breakdown of the face. It's it's this diagram that it's going to kind of help us see proportions in relationships. And typically, when you're drawing a human head, all these proportions hold true with everyone. Whether they have a fat head, or a skinny head, or a small head, or a big head, or if they appear to have a big nose, or appear to have a little nose. Everyone's face has a proportion that's followed. So we're going to start, I'm just drawing 4 lines equally spaced. I don't think this is how you drew it. I think this is just the dividing of the drawing. After the fact. We're going to start with the skull, which we're just going to start off with this kind of elongated oval. We're going to keep it within the first 2/3 that we've drawn. The crown of the head will come out just above the line. That's just how it is in the diagram. It's not exact. And we're going to do some quick guides here. I don't know if that's supposed to be curved. It's kind of curved actually. This line's pretty straight, right along the chin. It goes up the back of the head. This just goes down. So this line, actually this line says, cuts the back of the skull. And it just kind of comes up like a curve. And this is going to be a line we're going to put in here. It's going to, it says cuts through the nose and brow. Looks a little thin right now, but he builds on the shape. So these first 2 lines here, and this line will go up. And it actually curls around where the ear is, which the ear is going to be at the base of the head within that middle third. Okay. We kind of add on this little section here, which is the Adam's apple. And it's more or less prominent, depending on if it's a male or female you're drawing. Okay, and then Let's kind of set the ear in. This is just the basic stuff that's on the diagram. So, if anyone's wondering why the ear looks so weird or something like that, it's a diagram here. From here, actually, no, I guess he's got. This line goes out. It's all shaded in. And we've got this chin comes up, and then like along this first third of the third, this line arcs back all the way up to the ear. Okay, all the way up to the ear, and then from here, this is going to go out. So we've got just like a swooping line, which I think this is delineating this line delineates the where the nostrils are. Okay. This bottom chin line is going to delineate where the corner of the eye is. And if you hear noise in the background, it's other people. Just ignore it. So this line's more straight, and it comes up right along the third. 9 o'clock now. That comes along the third, and this one kind of stops in shorter. I'm trying to get the curves right before I continue. This line comes out here. These are down to the more fluid motion, but the way I'm holding my pencil right now, I'm just not kind of getting those. Okay. Basically, when we're done with this, you'll see the relationships of the forms. So there's a line here that it goes back and up to the eye corner, so the eye would be here. And then it kind of draws the eyelid. Use that, just like the ridge that the skull makes, which is it's kind of drawn like this. I feel like there might be off a little bit. I feel like this curve should delineate that. Let me see if that distance is too. This distance needs to be closer. Okay. There we go. And I'm sure there's a more fluid way to draw all this. This is like, this is drawn in a few strokes. Like it's not meant to be kind of hashed out. It's meant to be like drawn in fluid steps. There's videos that accompany this book that I haven't been really following yet. Like I'm not going to watch them while I'm on the stream. And the stream itself is my hour of study, so I kind of just get into work after this. But if you're wondering what it is we're doing, like these those lines and these motions are called the Riley rhythms, and they're the rhythms and proportions of the face. And so you'll see that there's like a steady flow. The reason those curves are drawn in is to show kind of how the lines of the face and the curves relate to each other. So from here, this one's important, this line here. I mean, all these lines are important, but in terms of like what I'm learning that I didn't already kind of know, this line that I'm drawing is like from the corner of the mouth, and it goes up to the corner of the eye, and then it goes all the way back to the top of the ear. That one was incorrect, I guess now that one. So there's a line that goes from the corner of the mouth up here, touches the corner of the eye, and goes all the way back to the ear. There's another line that goes from the chin, and it's going to go up. It's going to kind of follow this first curve, and it's going to break away, and then it's going to meet at the ear. These two lines are kind of, these two curves are showing you the path of the cheek. And then he's got, what is this? Some other line drawn in here, but I don't know what that is for. It doesn't look like it's one of the final mark. It looks like it was just a different mark that wasn't supposed to be there. Okay, from this point here, we're going to draw up and back curve about here. It actually goes all the way back and around to the neck. And this is like this kind of delineates one of the face planes. Like when you're drawing the side, this is like one plane. And then we got another one that comes up. This one goes into the same line. And then there's a mark that goes from, I don't know where he gets this, but it starts here. And we're going to go towards the ear, like the inner ear. So pretend you're trying to draw that line in towards the ear. That's going to be, it looks like that's the hairline. And then all this is a little darker. And we're going to go all the way back through this line and around, and we should be coming all the way down into this 2/3. So this, here we go. And then I'll shade in what's shaded. So we'll talk quickly about the relationships that I'm picking out, because these are some new things that I haven't noticed before. Okay, so the line of the neck here, this line here, cuts through the nose and brow. So it's going to go up, and it starts right at the top of the nose, where the nose starts, and the brow. Okay? We've got this back line, which cuts through the back of the skull and arcs away. And then, I don't really know how you would, like, other than just drawing a line and having it curve out, I don't know how you would decide that this is where this is going to be, unless you already had a shape blocked out. But, okay, what you need to notice is that there's a curve that goes from the chin up and around, and it comes out where the bridge of the nose begins, right at the bridge of the nose. And then this line that goes, it's the line of the neck that comes up and arches through the brow. Between that is the eye. This, on the top of the chin, there's a line that arcs up and around through the nose. That one, I guess this one should be a little lower. This one should be like right here, because this, to me, this looks like it's delineating where the nostrils are. That line delineates where the nostrils are on the face. And the mouth, the edges, the corners of the mouth go back to this line, stop. And then there's from the same curve, you go up, hit the corner of the eye, go back towards the ear, and you kind of mimic that line from the chin up. Then you meet at the ear. This is the cheekbone area. And then we got this curve here, which is like where the range of motion for the jaw starts here. Because, you know, your jaw comes back to your ear area. Okay. So that's a quick breakdown on some of the proportions, and these are all broken up into thirds. So on this the bottom of the nose to the top of the head is in the first 2/3, which the crown comes up. The crown does come up the top, and the chin to the bottom of the nose is in the first third, and the back of the head to the top, the top 2/3. We'll call these top 2/3 and the bottom third. And then the ear is within the middle third, as well as the eye and the nose. All those are contained within the same third. he has this line running too. He has like this, not that line, but the bottom of the skull stays within the bottom third. So I'm gonna kind of tighten this up, and I'm going to draw in this like muscles of the neck that he has in here. Starting from behind the ear, we're going to draw down and connect to this point here. Behind the ear to that point. Likewise, we're going to go down a bit, and then we're going to come down here, like just kind of arbitrarily make that. I say arbitrarily because I can't read how he made that line. I think it's in the first third. So this first third, it kind of comes down straight and it kind of curves towards here. Okay. And then from here at this point, it's a neck like that. The neck looks thin on my drawing. It doesn't look as thin on his. I think this line is just off. That looks more correct. Anyway. Okay, now there's another breakdown of the front. And this is different from lots of the breakdowns I've seen. It has to deal with these curves, has to deal with these shapes. The same ones we've been drawing. It's also broken down into thirds, so let me go down to my layers and adjust my guides. Okay. I'm going to start with the center line on this one. Now we're going to draw the front of the face. The front of the face is broken up very similarly. We're going to kind of look at the guides to the right that we just drew in. So, right off the bat, we're going to know that the bottom of the nose will be on this third, so we have in the other image, and that the chin will be here. Okay. The chin is the chin's going to create like a set of lines that go up and out. And that'll delineate the corners of the eyes. Okay, same here. Oops. We're going to go up and out. We have another set of lines that will go up and out, all the way to the top. This one, these lines will kind of come short of that first third, so they're going to come out to here. Okay. Okay. The brow's gonna, let me see what I need to draw next. From the chin to the outside of the line we just drew, we're going to go and create the draw line. So we're going to go from the chin to the outside of the line. Oops, wrong color. From the chin to the outside of the line we just drew. It's going to come up pretty far. We're going to stop right here. Just kind of eyeball it, not like making it perfect. Same thing over here. Okay. And the neck comes out from just in within the chin, the jawline. So we haven't actually drawn the neck yet till now. So that's the neck. And now from this same corner here where the chin is, we're going to go up and over. We're going to connect outside. So we're going to go up, kind of stay close to this outer jawline, over and out to the side. Okay? Up, over, and out. These ears are going to end up kind of looking like elf ears, the way that they're drawn in the diagram, just so y'all understand. That goes up. Here, out, up. And this is all for proportion's sake, so they're not like exactly like a human ear. And from the same chin, I'm gonna go this one kind of hugs more here. But correct that a little bit. Okay, so from the same chin area, we're going to go out and over to the top of the ear. So it's kind of like we're going to just match that same line. It's going to come up. To the top of the ears. So you kind of bear with me here, because everything I'm doing here, it'll make a lot more sense after I'm done, and then I can explain like what's going on. Now I'm going to kind of draw a circle, which maybe I should have done this first, but I'm going to draw a circle now, which is going to connect from here actually this one should have been up here. Let's do this again. Oops. Alright, I'm going to just kind of erase that and start over. It's easier this way. start with a circle. Okay, circle there. We'll divide that in half. And then we have another circle that starts, okay, if this circle is divided in half around here, we're going to have a second circle, kind of circle oval shape that's going to go all the way up to the top, third and above. So the second circle is going to go up here, top third and above. This is going to be pretty much the skull. Okay. Now, where this line ends, I'm going to kind of put a line here, and the eyes will sit. Well, I'm not going to put the eyes in yet. We need to put the other guides in. Okay. And the chin's back down here, so. Okay. We have a better guide now. Let me clean up these circles just a little bit. Okay, so I'm trying to figure out where I'm going to start next. It's about half. So like this line about cuts this third in half. It could be a little higher actually. This third's cut in half by that line, and we know that the bottom of the nose is going to be here. Bottom of the nose there. It's actually going to come out wider. Then chin up. The nose will reach those two lines, so we're going to have the nose come out to those lines. And then likewise, there's another set of lines. We'll draw on it a little bit. I feel like it's easier to these flare out at some point. What I'm trying to get is like how the order in which he drew these and like what he's using, because when you draw like this, there's an order of the lines, and then like you're looking to connect certain things, so it makes sense. So I'm trying to figure out where he's like connecting. Like when he makes these lines, he's just going up and out just arbitrarily, or if there's like, did he have the eyes already drawn in? Because if he had the eyes drawn in, then we would have these two circles here. Okay, and then he has like the eyelid That makes more sense. Okay. Those two circles are there. And then from the nose, we're going to have two lines that curve up and around to form, well, we can't put those in yet. Okay, so from the eyes, we're going to go down and up and out. Okay, same thing for the other side. Okay, this is a better way to start. I think the eyes are drawn in as a guide. From the corner of the mouth is going to come all the way out to the center of the eyes. That's just something that I know. It's typical of people. You can draw in the bottom lip if we want. Okay, so from this chin circle, we're going to go up, out, and around to the ears. So we're going to follow the circle that I drew already. So we're going to go up. It's going to come out at the same point where this circle connects. And out to the ears. Same thing on the other side. Okay. Sorry, everyone. Getting distracted. Okay, we got 20 minutes. I got 14 more minutes. Okay. So for the outside circle, it goes out. Those are the ears. And then we're going to kind of follow that line. Out. And to the edge. And likewise out to the edge. Yeah, I think this is the way to construct it. This is just making more sense. It's just easier to follow what I've already put down. And the ears are going to connect in kind of like elf looking ears. He's looking like a monkey right now, but we'll add in some other features soon. And the main reason that is because that first circle I drew was just so dark. Okay. From this, I got this other little shape here. I don't know if that was just drawn in. The actual chin line comes past this. So the actual chin line should be like here. I can make that a lot softer. Something the other side. And then the actual neck comes out here. Okay. Then now we have the lip. And from this line and the corner, from the lip, in this line, we're going to go up and out, and Oh, you know what? This line didn't make... Okay. This line goes up to the corner and out. That makes more sense. Well, then they have this line here that kind of connects to that. Okay. It's real messy, sorry. But this line connects to the corner of the lips and out. I keep saying this line, I need to like give it a better name. So there's this line here I made that's incorrect. It's the second line that connects to the ears. That one actually comes from the corner of the mouth. And then we have another line that there's this intersection point right here, and the lips, if you see, I'm going to make another line that goes into those same curves. And it's just super messy, so sorry. My guides are a little off, it feels like, because it's not lining up symmetrically. This diagram is supposed to be symmetrical. For me, one thing too that I do notice is like most people don't have symmetrical faces, and most people, when you're learning how to draw a face, you learn on the basis of symmetry. But oftentimes, it's just not true. Something's wrong here. Something's definitely off. This should be where the corner of the mouth is. This should be the lip. This should be the bottom lip. That should be the bottom lip. I don't know if I've gotten it off. It's just off. I'm going to continue. Here we're going to come up over the eyes and out. The brow should stop at this third here. And it should connect down. Kind of butchering this, so just bear with me. And this curve comes up and forms this shape here. The eyes should be bigger. And the head looks a little shorter than it should be. Okay, so I'll explain what's going on here, because some of the stuff still makes sense. So even though it's a little off, this first third of the top third is like where you're gonna have the brow, and then the way the head's drawn, it should come up like that, come around. Okay, that's generally it. It's a lot different on the it's a lot different. I mean, like my proportions are kind of messed up a little bit. Not my proportions, I guess. My just the shape of my head looks different from the shape of the head in the book. So here we go. Cleaning it up just a bit. That's a mess here. That's a mess. This should be bear with me while I clean this up real quick. It'll be easier for me to show you what I'm talking about here. If this is your first time joining me, or if you haven't seen these videos before, I always kind of say this, and that's I'm just practicing myself, and I'm just inviting people to follow along. I'm not trying to teach you. So, if you have the book, it's oh, I guess I didn't tell you what the book was. It's Imagine Effects Anatomy with Ron Lemon, giving his spiel about how to do this stuff. So okay, so what the main difference in my head versus the one in the book is that mine looks a little taller and a little more mine looks taller and a little wider. Okay. So here's what we can break down. The edge of the chin goes up to the jaw, and it creates kind of an imaginary curve that comes in here to the eye socket and around. This area in here is the cheek. So I've been isolated by these two lines. Some of the same things apply. So this third, the eyes and the nose sit in there. This middle third. The brow to the top of the hairline starts here. So if he had hair, it would only come up to like here. This would be like his hair. Or whatever. Maybe less anime. Anyway, so that's his hair. That's what so that top third kind of, it stops at the hairline. It doesn't really go all the way to the top of the head, which I think is different. It's different from the stuff I've seen before. I feel like it's easier to excuse me. I feel like it's easier to use another method to break down the head. They're saying the profile of the head is like square. So I'll just make a new layer and show you this stuff on the same diagram. The profile of the head should be square. So I think that's we'll do it this way. Here's a square. Selection, inverse. Selection, deselect. So, but he has it different. So this is, it's not just the profile of the head, it's the side of the head. I meant to say it, I said that wrong. It's not just the entire head, from the crown of the head up here to the nose to the back of the head should be a square, which we drew that correctly, because if you look, it's a square. The square fits over from the chin to the top of the head, to the back of the head, to the front of the head. And then the front of the head, which I know I didn't draw entirely correctly, should fit without the ears. So the front of the head without the ears should come to roughly 2/3 of the width of the skull. So, oh, that kind of works actually. It's almost there. Roughly 2/3 of the width. So, this here, which is about this rectangle, which it goes from the crown of the face down to the chin, without the ears, is roughly 2/3 of the side of the head. Mine's a little off, but that's just because I drew it that way. But you can see how that works out. I'm glad I got that down. That square, that worked out perfectly. There's some other. It's got another breakdown. It's a little different. I'm not going to draw that one. Something else I'm picking up from this section that I read already. So here are the two things I picked up that I didn't really see. So the hairline. Okay, so let me turn off this layer. This is just in the book. Okay, so the hairline. When we're talking about the hairline, it's going to run from the top third of the head down to the ear for every person, for men and women. And then guys, men sometimes have like sideburns that are grown in, or like a beard. But if you were to cut their hairline, if you were to cut their beard off, all the facial hair, the true hairline of the actual head would start right around here, like right the middle of the ear and back. Right, so then typically from this top third to the middle of the ear is the hairline. And then another important relationship is just the cheeks. So if you're ever trying to draw a character's cheeks from the side, the cheeks curve back to the top of the ear. And so that's something to consider with every person you're drawing. And those are the two things I learned that were new to me. Something okay, so here's what it doesn't happen in the book. The center of the eye, where the pupil is in the eye, should line up with the corner of the mouth, typically with every person. Alright? So I knew my mouth was off because the center of the eye was not lining up with the corner of the mouth. Okay? And then the corners of the eyes line up with the edges of the nostril. So the corner of the eyes will always line up with the edges of the nostril. The center of the eyes are always the corners of the mouth. And the from the bridge, which it doesn't really say this, but it's implied, from the brow to the bottom of the nose, that's the ear for every person ever. If a person has small ears, it means that the distance between their eyes and the nose are too small. Not too small, but like just small. If a person has big ears, it normally means their nose is really long too. It never kind of goes one way. One doesn't happen without the other. And then from the side, you can actually see it here. It's at the top of the ears, goes to the brow, and the bottom of the ears goes to the nose. Those are like, for every person ever, it's always going to be that way. There's also this line that's created here. From the chin to the nose, it's like a diagonal. I don't know what that degree is, but this slant normally, like if you're drawing the nose, if you're about to draw the nose and you've drawn like skull, face, if you've drawn the person like that, you can kind of make an imaginary slant, and the end of that slant would be the top of the nose, or the front of the nose, and then you got like the lips, chin, and the degree of that slant varies from person to person, right? But that's how you're going to line up. If you want to line up those features, so someone could have a smaller nose, and their lips would come out here. Women typically have the slant of those features goes inwards. Some guys, it goes further outward. It depends though. Some people have big noses, so the slant goes further outward. But that slant is the line of the features. So you can kind of put, if you put like a pencil or a pen against your mouth, and like if you, from your chin to your nose, your lips connect and touch the pencil too. So it's like your chin, your lips, and your nose all line up together. Remember, the pivot point for the jaw is back here. So if you're drawing someone like screaming or angry, pivot point's going to be back there. Trying to think of my general knowledge of the face that I always use. I learned to build the face from a center point. So like when you do the general shape, then you go center, and you pick out where you want the eyes, and then from there you base everything off of that cross, this little cross, and then normally you have the head already drawn out, so you'd have it like this. But even if you have the eyes set a certain way, you can adjust your length, because halfway between where the eye line is and the jaw line is where the nose will be, and then halfway between there is where the mouth will be, and then like you have your eyes here. And remember that the corner of the nostrils is there. From the center line of the eyes would be the corners of the mouth, and then
girls, their eyebrows.
oh yeah, my girlfriend's reminding me something. For women, the ideal eyebrow position, in terms of like shaping your eyebrow, it goes from the end of the eyebrow. So when women pluck eyebrows, which means guys, if you're drawing a pretty girl, typically, you go from the corner of the mouth to the corner of the eye, and that's where the eyebrow stops. And that can kind of be said for most characters. Like an ideal area for the eyebrow to end is here. Otherwise, your eyebrow we'd have big hairy eyebrows, I guess.
So when noses are thinner, that's where the eyebrow starts, is the nose.
And okay, and the ideal place for an eyebrow to start for women is from the nostril up. So this is the eyebrow area, nostril up, corner of the eye, and it connects as a line. Anyway, this is how I draw that. I draw the face starting with a cross, and then you kind of put two lines in, and those lines delineate the eyes. And then from this point you go, okay, how far do you want the nose down? Well, normally halfway between this line and the chin is the nose. And then if you want a character to look a little funnier, you can like have them like a longer nose. You look more like a Disney villain, like a male Disney villain. All the female Disney villains don't look so weird, But remember, the ears would have to match. The ears always match that length. From the bottom of the nose to the brow. But those are some of the other measurement rules that I know that aren't mentioned in the book. They're just a different method. There's a couple more diagrams, there's like 2 or 3, but that's really it. Talks about the neck and how it attaches to the body. Unless you're drawing a disembodied head, there will come a time when you need to attach the head to the rest of the body, which means adding the neck, the rib cage, and the shoulders. Attaching the neck and shoulders to the head can be tricky business. if you're drawing the head first, it's at this point that the rest of the pose is about to be drawn. The connection will help you develop and define the shapes of the pose during that it fits correctly. If you're going to draw the head and the rest of the body, you should block out the whole thing. That's what I'm telling. That's what I'll say. I feel like drawing the head then drawing the body is not the best way, unless you're just sketching. But if you actually have a scene planned out, you should draw the entire body first and figure out where the head's going to be. Use the body as your anchor point, don't use the head. Okay. That's it. There's some stuff to read here, but that's the end of that section. That's not much. There's a couple more stuff I didn't draw, right? But like I'm almost out of time, and the actual like breakdowns of the proportions, that's kind of everything. You saw everything there. The squares and how that side of the head's a square, the front of the face is 2/3 of that square. And then I try to tell you everything I knew from my own experience. With the pupils, if you're looking straight ahead of you, the pupils line up with the corner of your mouth, the corner of your eyes are the nostrils, and then from the nostrils up is the top of the eyebrow, or front of the eyebrow, I guess, and then that ends just past the corner, which would be, you create the straight line here in the eyebrows there. Unless you're trying to make a weird character, you can add the eyebrow, make them longer, make a unibrow, make them look hairier, have them come further down. The hairline from the top third of the head, make a line to the ear. That's the hairline. And then you can, different people have different shaped hairlines. And you have to look up the different kinds of hairlines, like the widow's peak and not widow's peak and reverse widow's peak. I don't know if that exists. I made that one up, I think. But yeah, and then this is from the tip of the nose to the lips and the chin. There's a line that connects those. And then that degree of that angle, the line depends on the person, really. But everyone that has like weird shaped faces, the proportions still apply. And then most people in real life, unless they're like a fashion model or something, their faces aren't completely symmetrical. So some people have like their eye is slightly up here, just so. Like there's things that are just slightly off on certain people, and depends. Like it's just something you gotta like think about, because learning all this symmetrical face drawing is just kind of irrelevant if the person you're drawing doesn't have a completely straight face. If you try and straighten the features out, they'll say it'll look like you're trying to make them look more attractive, and they'll kind of say like, "Oh wow, you made me look really good." And all that it's saying is like, "You made my face look symmetrical." Or not fat. Unless you like bigger people. There's no problem with being... Unless you're unhealthy. If you're unhealthy, there's a problem. Anyway. Okay, so today I started at around 9. I'm going to try and do this at 9 in the morning every day. For like an hour. I'll update the lesson plan later today. And I'll upload this video later today. But all the rest of the videos are uploaded, except for today's, onto YouTube, and they're on the archive. The lesson plan is going to consist of composition practice along with still life. That should be it. Composition practice, still life, photo studies. It's going to be a mixed bag, so like different days will be different things. But there'll be some kind of composition practice each day. And there'll be kind of like weird exercises in composition. Okay. And I'll also I'll read some articles and kind of highlight articles that are interesting that we should say or that you should read. But yeah, I'll update that later today. But that's everything. That's all the human anatomy, and we're gonna just move on to a wider area of study. Last issue was 16, 17. Okay. I'll post this in the forum, and we'll update the Google Doc with all the plans. And you don't have to follow along exactly, but you'll just know ahead of time like what I'm going to be talking about if you're going to follow along, and if you're not going to follow along, then whatever. Yeah, just as long as you're studying for an hour, that's what's important. But lots of people are in different places. Some people might just need to focus on still lives every day. Still life every day. Some people might need to focus on anatomy every day and just get anatomy down. I probably would. I mean, I'd recommend the Loomis book on the head and hands to supplement everything we went over the past 2 days, because there really wasn't much these past 2 days, and there's a lot more about the head and the hands you can go over. But also, the most important thing you can do is just draw the head and the hands over and over again, even if it's a self-portrait. Just practicing that. The only problem with doing a self-portrait over and over again is that every character you draw ends up looking like you. Slightly. We'll go over reference later too, like using reference effectively and not just copying things. Because reference isn't copying stuff. Reference is using information and an image to help you with your image. Okay. Read the chat. You can only touch the chin and lower lip, or the lower lip and nose. That means you're misformed face. You have a deformed face. Sorry. I hate to be the one to tell you that. Anyway, thanks for joining, everyone. I'll be online tomorrow. Same time, same place.